We have a snowstorm moving through portions of the mid-Atlantic and New England today. And as we get into Sunday and Monday, we may see another snowstorm pushing through portions of the Midwest that may bring with it some blizzard-like conditions. And there could be a chance for some snow down in the south potentially. It's December 26th, 2025. Let's get into the weather updates. As I always like to do, let's start by taking a look at our live radar. We have a snowstorm right now moving into the northeast. This is going to drop some good snow for portions of upstate New York, eastern PA, central to northern New Jersey, New York City, Long Island, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts. We're going to get into those snow totals in a little bit here. We do have a couple of mesoscale discussions, so I do want to talk about that real quick. This one across PA currently is for freezing rain, really central to western PA. A wintry mix, eventually transitioning into primarily light to moderate freezing rain, will spread southeast through the afternoon into northwest and central Pennsylvania and western New York. I would highly suggest staying off the roads here in central to western PA. We have a similar situation happening in Michigan currently as well. Out west, we still have those flooding concerns across California, and we have a lot of snow still falling in portions of the Sierra Nevada Cascades and Rockies. Let's quickly move through our next 7 to 10 days here. Snowstorm moving through the northeast right now. You can see that. Right after this system moves out, we actually start to get a ridge building, and we're going to have a really fast warm up. Could force a little bit of snow melt in the northeast, but I think you're going to get enough snow, especially around New York City, portions of Connecticut, the Hudson Valley. I think you're going to have that snow still on the ground for New Year's Eve, so I wouldn't worry too much. This is a quick warm up, and then we have some cold air moving in behind it. Now, as we get into Saturday, there's that warm up pushing out east, and we start to get a snowstorm forming right here. I've been calling this out for 5 or 6 days. If we go back and we look at the old models from a week ago, even just a few days ago, we had this tight baroclinic boundary, lots of cold air to the northwest, and some moisture and warmer air down to the southeast. My question was, why aren't we seeing any sort of storm forming in this region? Why aren't we seeing any rain? Why aren't we seeing any snow? Well, the models have slowly adjusted, and now they see it. We start to get a neutrally tilted trough, and our low pressure is deepening and moving up through portions of the Midwest. And on the back end of this, we could have some heavy snow. Minnesota, Iowa, and Nebraska could definitely get involved. Maybe a little bit on the back end here towards Colorado and portions of northwestern Kansas. You can see as this system begins to form on Sunday, we're getting a little bit of snow out there in the central plains. This storm is going to move off into the northeast, and we could see, and we're going to go over these snow totals in a little bit, but we could see some high-end snow totals, I think, of above 9 inches in some of these areas up here, so we're going to have to watch that. Getting into Monday, we're going to have to watch for the potential for a little bit of severe weather through this region. I don't see anything too bad right now. There's not too much instability, but something to watch there. And this system and all of this cold air, this is going to be very, very cold air. We're talking 10 to 20 degrees below average. This is going to activate some more lake effect snow and bring some more snow into inner New England and maybe out towards the coast here. As we get into Wednesday, New Year's Eve, we have some moisture beginning to head back towards the coast. We're going to see a little bit of a dry up as we get into early next week. But again, the middle of next week, New Year's Eve, we could see some moisture moving back in towards California, towards the desert Southwest. And look what happens potentially in the Midwest. This is again what I've been talking about. We haven't really been seeing this much snow, but there was always the opportunity here. Another boundary here, cold air, warm air, a little bit of a clipper system. Maybe we get some snow falling in Minneapolis, portions of eastern Iowa, Wisconsin, northern Indiana, northern Illinois, Michigan. Maybe we have some snow falling at midnight on New Year's Eve. I'm going to wait another 24 to 48 hours to really start to dig into who could see that snow falling on New Year's Eve. If this system speeds up a little bit, we could even have snow falling in New York City, Philadelphia on New Year's Eve at midnight. So we'll watch this and I'll keep you updated. But here we go. As we get into January 1st, a little bit of a ridge building out west, but we have some more moisture moving into the west. As I said, lots of rainfall potentially for portions of central to southern California, southern Nevada, Utah, Colorado, Arizona, New Mexico as that system moves in from off the coast. This could be some good snow for the Utah and Colorado mountains as well as we get into Thursday and Friday of next week. But look what's happening out east. Very negative NAO setup, positive PNA, warm air out to the west, cold air out to the east. Very cold start to 2026. And then I'll just quickly move forward here. And we kind of see the same type of pattern continuing. Could have a little bit of snow. Missouri, Kentucky, Tennessee. Let's watch this. I've been talking about this for a while as well. As our polar jet starts to collapse more, we get into January, the coldest time of year for the northern hemisphere. Our chances for southern snow go up. GFS gives a chance down there to the south. Hey, even gives a chance for a little bit of snow down in Atlanta. This is pretty far out though, so we're obviously going to wait to talk about that. And then here we go as we get out towards January 6th. Again, this is far, 250 hours out. We could see our jet actually just trying to punch down to the south. And this is what I've been talking about going into the second week of January, where I think we actually have a window here to get a little bit of snow somewhere down in the south region here. So that is something I'm going to continue to watch for you. Let's talk about where the latest GFS sees snow over the next 10 to 12 days. Some good snow into Minnesota and Wisconsin, a good blanket of snow. Iowa could get involved. Nebraska. Look at eastern Colorado down in the plains. You guys could get some snow down there in Denver. Obviously, like I showed you, the GFS is giving a chance for some Missouri snow, Kentucky, Tennessee, and we're getting some more snow potentially into Michigan, Ohio. Really nice snow into inner New England and then out towards the mid-Atlantic coast. That's the snow that could be falling today into tomorrow. Speaking of the snow today into tomorrow, check this out. Philadelphia National Weather Service thinks you could see around 1 to 2 inches of snow. New York City, Totals have actually gone up a little bit, 6 to 9 inches in there. Same with Long Island. 6 to 9 inches. On the high end, New York City or somewhere on Long Island could see over 10 inches of snow, maybe even a foot if you get lucky with some banding here. The Hudson Valley looks great. Upstate New York looks great. Syracuse down to Binghamton, Albany, lots of snow here. Most of Connecticut looks pretty good with snow. Rhode Island, decent, 2 to 3 inches out there. Western Massachusetts, 3 to 5 inches. Boston, this is the low end, but if you get high end snow here, you could see more than this. You can see on the high end, Boston, 3 to 4 inches is possible. And look at the high end here. We're talking widespread 8 to 10 inches throughout this area. So this is pretty good. High end Philadelphia, maybe you do end up with 3 to 5 inches. Again, I think we're going to be battling with freezing rain here though. We can take a look at our ice forecast here, and where you don't want to be is this red. This red is when we get into that catastrophic ice storm area. And I don't want to use scary words like that, but you get over a half inch of ice. That's when you get some power lines coming down, trees coming down. It's not a good situation. And if there are any issues, it's really difficult for authorities to get around and help people out because the roads are just undrivable. So if you're out here, central to western PA, you should have some extra gas if your house runs on gas to keep it warm, just in case the power goes out. If you live in an area that doesn't have a great power grid, it is very, very possible that the power goes out with a half inch of ice. And by the way, if you're in the Midwest, our Sunday into Monday storm, you can see these are the high ends. I actually don't think these should be the high ends. I think these should be the expected totals. We've seen as our models have adjusted, they've really started to deepen this low, tilt our trough. So I think these should actually be the expected totals, but Minneapolis, 5 to 6 inches. You could see a little bit more than that, I think. Central to northern Wisconsin, good snow. 5 to 9 inches here. Maybe you get some decent snow down into Milwaukee as well if that low pressure drops a little bit farther south, but looks pretty decent here in Green Bay, obviously central to northern Iowa. Most of Nebraska see snow. You probably want to be in northeastern Nebraska to see the best snow from this. And then of course, Denver, Colorado. Out there in eastern Colorado, you could get some good snow as well. And we all know what's been happening out west. Look at this over the next 72 hours, good snow for the Rockies. So taking a look at our European weeklies. Does it look cold and snowy for January? Does it look hot and dry? If you're out east, this is a pretty good sign. Let's take a look at our Arctic oscillation. You can see our ensembles want to stay neutral to negative. This is a pretty good sign for a cooler January, or the opportunity for some below average air into the states for a good stretch of January. Depending on what happens with our PNA, EPO, of course, NAO, where that cold air goes, we'll have to see. But right now, my bet is the East is colder again for January than the West. Why? Let's take a look at our NAO. Look at our ensembles here. Look at our mean. This thing stays negative all the way through January. Will it stay negative all the way through January? No, I'm sure. Just like the control shows here, we're going to have some spikes in the NAO. It's going to go positive. We're going to get some cooler air and more snow out into the Rockies. But this is a good sign for consistent cold air out east. Could struggle with moisture though. Could struggle with moisture. One reason being, you take a look at the ensembles, you take a look at the mean here with our PNA. Not the best, staying negative if you want some big snowstorms in the east. Although we do see on our control run some big opportunities for even a nor'easter style storm. So I'm not saying it couldn't happen. It definitely could happen, especially because I think the cold air is going to be in place. But again, we want to see this PNA go positive. Here's a good opportunity here. Look at that. Right in the middle of the month. We're talking January 10th to January 14th. You get a big spike here. You can see our ensembles going north here too. So I kind of believe this a little bit more. Very positive PNA here. Our NAO goes negative around this time. Big opportunity for snow in the east, snow in the southeast as well. But mid-Atlantic, maybe we get that nor'easter setup. So looks cold. You take a look at the European weekly temperature anomalies as we move through January. Watch what happens out east again. Kind of looks like December, but overall, you can see this pattern here, really wanting to stay cold out through this region as an average throughout the month. Not the entire month. We're going to see some warm-ups throughout the month, but as an average, looks like it's going to be cold out east, but this looks much cooler out west than we saw in December. So again, you get more of a negative PNA pattern out here. You could get some more moisture into the mountains, some more snow into the mountains, and some more cool air out west than we had in December. I really appreciate you guys watching this video. If you like this type of content, don't forget to sub and hit that notification bell. I put out videos like this almost every single day, and I try to live stream every single day to answer all of your weather related questions. And if you want to join an awesome weather community, the link to my Discord is in the description of all of my YouTube videos and YouTube lives. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video or the next live stream.